that for 5 years of my life. So I was
Okay.
raised by my mother. And that shaped most of my mentality through life because, as much as she tried, she gave me everything. She gave me practically everything. I dare say I've never seen a woman fight so hard to raise a child. So that's probably my upbringing. And when they got back together between 1990 to 1995, it was just a brief moment. Again, life hit hard when I had to live with my mother again. And it was really tough. I mean, single room tough, compound house tough. Back then in Nigeria, they call it face me, I face you. Now you say you are living here, your neighbor is living here. Your neighbor can perceive what you are cooking. When you put your bean stew on your neighbor will say you are doing bean, that kind of thing. So there were moments of, waking up to nothing, school fees struggling to be paid, So my mother fought very hard, and there was no inclination then that today I'll be where I am. There was the connection of where I am now and back then. There was no resemblance. It was a very difficult, trying moment. That's why I always say to people, even in my church today, that no matter how the child comes, even if the woman, excuse my language, is a prostitute, no matter how the child comes, as soon as that child is not even born, as soon as that life is incubated, that is a destiny that you never know what destiny that child carries. So please, let's ease up with the condemnation. Oh, no matter what it is, that is a legal destiny under God. So growing up, my mom and all of that, born out of wedlock, whatever it is, that woman fought, and it was a long journey to get to where I am today. It was rough. I have countless stories, of it being rough and not knowing, how to go back to school. One of the most intriguing things I ever saw was one time I had to pay my fees, and I'm sure that most of my mothers will know. We used to have this. My mother used to have these wrappers called. What did they call? They called again. I think they're called Hollandis or something. They are prints, but they were expensive print. I saw her count them out of her box, about 5. I said, "What are you going to do?" She said, "I'm going to go and sell them." So I have instances like that constantly replay in my mind. She had to sell her wrappers to afford my fees. So that's practically my growing up and the story from the very beginning.
Okay, so growing up, who and what has been your greatest inspiration?
I think the greatest inspiration for me is trying to prove that I can be something, knowing that the odds were against me. Trying to prove that I can be something. Because you see, when you grow up when you have, it's not a polygamous background, when you have a background, and I say your father has, maybe other children from other women, there's a bit of that competition mindset. And anyway, I'm the only child of my mother.
Okay.
That's only child of my mother. So that's an extra. So when you watch your mother go through things a lot through life, you feel like you have a point to prove. So that constantly plays in my mind that you can't fail. Have you seen this on TikTok where there's a trend on TikTok where somebody says, "Oh God, I can't fail. God, I can't fail. People are depending on me." That's the kind of mentality I have. I can't fail. There's a lot expected of me. There's too much on my shoulders for me to fail. So that is a driving force through life. That's something that has been constantly, echoing in my mind. I can't fail. There's too much expected of me, and too much demanded of me, and too much given to me for me to fail. So I think that's the greatest driving force.
Okay, so growing up again, did you have any mentors you were looking up to that really motivated you to keep going?
No. First of all, no. First of all, I'm very, very introverted, and my mother was very protective. So she's the kind of mother where I couldn't eat this, I couldn't eat that. She was so scared of losing me. So I wasn't open to too many people, and wasn't open to too many. I didn't have that. Most of the things can I shock you with this one statement? This is, I've said it I think in a couple of places. This is one statement I want to shock you. I've never been to a film school in my life.
Oh, how?
No. I have never been to a film school in my life. I've never been taught how to write a script in my life.
So everything we are seeing today...
Everything you are seeing today, I told you I'm an only child, was me growing up alone and imagining things. When I became a teenager in my late teens, I started imagining stories. I started writing them. I didn't know what a script was, but I'm just writing stories as I imagine, because I learned how to talk to myself. Say I'm the only child, only me in the house. My mother goes off, I'm talking to myself because I don't have who to play with. So me, I'm imagining being the uncle, I'm imagining being the child. Now I'm talking to myself. That created an imagination.
So at what point did you realize you could do all this?
Going to my late teens, from let me say from about 16, 17, 18. At that point, I just put this higher education and what do you call it, notebook. I just started writing story about this. I just imagining things. The first time somebody read my script, like, he said, "Are you sure you've not been in the industry?" I said, "No, I have never sat in a script writing class in my entire life. All I've achieved so far, it was when I got into the industry, then I learned by apprenticeship. But getting in, till date, there is nothing. Everything I've ever made, even till now, is my imagination." Another shocker, when people write scripts, people, they like to imagine the story. And scene 1, scene 2, I can't do that. I start the story and I imagine as I write. So every time I write, I don't know how it will end. It's I write that in my... if I do that, the first time I tried, imagine the story from beginning, I never finished the script.
I'm trying to get it. So do you call that an inspiration?
Now I know it is God. Back then, yes, I felt saying me too gifted, too intelligent. But now I know it is God. I'm telling you, any story I begin, when I start, I don't know how it will end. Okay, my wife is here now. When I'm writing to myself here, you see me talking to myself. Say, maybe on my laptop, I'm talking to myself. Oh, Peter. See my nails? I don't drink alcohol. I bite my nails. This is a habit from when I was 6 years old. So I'm biting my nose. My kids know. I'm talking to myself. I'm typing. I get up. I shout. I scream. I walk around the room. I'm a mess when I'm writing the script. I'm a complete creative mess. I'm telling you, I'm biting my nose. I can be up from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm biting my nose. I'm talking to myself. You will see me like say.
So with the name, the title and everything, it just comes...
Everything. Even God is African. I had a title 2 years before God gave me the story. I had a title 2 years. It came in 2020. That film was finally made in 2022. 2 years before God gave me the title.
Now that you've mentioned God is Africa, let me dive into it. Apostle, God is Africa.
Yes.
My goodness. Do you know I actually followed the premiering? That of Ghana.
Wow.
That of US.
Yes.
And I was like, nah. People are actually relating to the story, not because of their Christianity sentiment. But I also can't fathom the vibe that comes with that movie. Now that you are here, what really inspired that movie?
So, I went through a very difficult time. Now, if I go, it will take me a long time too. I went through a very difficult time.
As for God is Africa.
I went a very difficult time in my life. So coming out of that life, I didn't know if, am I supposed to continue in the movie industry? I felt so down. Around the COVID era, I was going through a lot of depression. I'd gone through something maritally. Of that. So I was coming out of that. You know? So I didn't know what to do. I had kind of lost a bit of passion for film. So I was thinking, what do I do? And I'm now into ministry. Now we are sorry. Come on, people think those two worlds can. We say we are so for. How can also be doing? You know, how can the movie industry say you're evil? Things go on there. So I was a bit conflicted on what to do. Then one night, I just heard the title in my spirit, God is Africa. And I said, what am I going to do with this? I said, this sounds too controversial. What is God is Africa? Then so I left it. That's why I didn't touch it, because there is nothing. It was catchy. It was but I said, no. The story has to justify why this title. Otherwise, people can trash the film.
Oh, yes. How can God be Africa?
Because I've done very dirty things in my life before. Remember, I once made a movie called Boko Haram in this country. And it created a lot of... It was banned in Opera Square. They packed away the CD. I lost money. I said, no, I'm not doing anything controversial again, because people will now give me backlash. So I left it. So I started to think, I started to imagine, okay, I I look around me, Barrows. I just say, no, I know that there are many problems in Africa. Say Ghana, or say Nigeria, but I dare say there is something special about Africa. Without being boastful, at least I've gone around the world, not even not like gone around. I said no, there is something special about Africa. We have a lot of problems. I don't argue, but there is something special about Africa. You see this thing we are doing in Emerepa TV.
Sure.
The white man, it would take the white man 100 times investment to do this. The things you achieve with all the problem, maybe you're having problems back home, whatever, you come and you present nicely.
Sure.
The African is gifted to achieve in a short period what the white has to plan for years. I think there's something in our mindset that just makes us special. So I started to think, I said, there's something special about the African. And I looked around me and I said, then when it finally dawned on me, I said, no. The way the African takes God, the way he views life, the way he handles his challenges, the way he's built to be tough. Those guys there, my mental health, the African has a tenacity in him that even what will kill the African in the face of his greatest problems, he's dealing with him. He can kill anybody. He's still pushing.
Sure.
He's still. I said, no, this thing is worth celebrating. There is something built into the African that is not ordinary. Then the story started to expound in my head. So towards around 2021, finally, I got the full picture of what it is. And I said, I want to tell a story that has centered on God, but celebrates the unique thing in the African, celebrates that thing that God put in the African, so the world can see. And you have it all. You have social security, you have everything.
Sure.
You have everything. But here, we don't have enough. But to achieve what we're achieving, it must take a special grace. Because that's what gave birth to that. I remember the first time somebody asked me, said, how long does it take you to make a film? I said, okay, well, if it's extra comfortable, about 10 days. But he said, I don't understand what you mean. You make a film in 10 days? How do you do it?
Are you talking about the whole production?
I mean shooting the entire production.
Oh, wow.
I've even increased the days. I said when it's very comfortable. I've made a film in 4 days before.
Okay.
And the person said, how do you do it in 4 days? I said, because I was filming in Nigeria. One, the budget is not enough. If it goes into the fifth, the producer has no more money. We are dealing with, said Nigeria, and generator sound, traffic. You are filming about 20 scenes a day. I said, all those things you watch on YouTube that you are clapping, none of them is beyond 4 days. He said, I said, exactly. That is what is built into the African, that he makes the most with the least. So such thoughts are what gave birth to this movie. And of course, to celebrate how the African views God. People say we are too churchy. Hey, Monday, Tuesday, I don't care what anybody says. There is something special in the way the African, in his relationship with God, there's something special, and it's worth celebrating.
So how is the movie doing now?
Oh, it's wonderful. Like you said, it's wonderful. Like, right now, we've gone everywhere, at least, Right now, we put it on YouTube for the world to see. I just launched my YouTube channel, PASCAL AMANFO TV. I just want everybody to be blessed. And they say, if you have data, you can just go on YouTube. Yeah, Netflix is not, you don't need to subscribe or pay any money.
Sure.
It's free. We just want the world to see this amazing movie that we made, and of course, experience God like every other person has everywhere we've shown this movie.
Okay. So Apostle, is there any surprising moment in your career?
Surprising moment, I think, was the beginning. Okay, initially from the beginning, I wrote a script in Nigeria for somebody, right? The person now took the script to come and film in Ghana. It was called Power of the Gods. Okay. This is around 2006. So I'm sitting in my somewhere in Nigeria. I'm a writer then. I had not done any movie. Then suddenly my phone rings. I see the number. I say, this is not the person I know who goes to Ghana to make film. So I pick up the phone. The friend says, hey, hello, are you PASCAL AMANFO? I say, yes. My name is Alhaji Abdulsalam Mumuni, Venus Films. So I got a surprise call from Alhaji Abdulsalam, Venus Films, in about late 2006. And this guy doesn't know me from anywhere. This guy just telling me, come to Ghana, come to Ghana, come to Ghana, come on.
For what?
He's talking like I'm like,
he owns you.
Exactly. Who are you again? So I called the guy who I guess, somebody sent the script to Alhaji to read.
Okay.
And he said, who wrote this? I said, hey, guy, Bio, now I want Nigeria. He said, I want this guy. Get this guy, get this guy, get this guy. So, cut a long story short. I'm sitting in the car coming to Ghana. I landed in Opera Square. Alhaji says, you're the one who writes the scripts. Write for me. The next movie you see is Playboy. The next movie you see is Agony of the Christ. High Excellency. Prince Bride. And all, I can't count, Foreplay Reloaded. That's all the hits of Venus Films beginning and party. That's basically how.
So now, how many movies do you have in your?
I can't count. I can't count.
Wow.
I can remember like Agony of the Christ because, you know, Alhaji said, I want to make something Christian. You know, something like that. Have you seen Passion of Christ? Let's do something like that, you know. So Playboy, Agony of Christ, High Excellency, what's it called again? Pretty Queen, Foreplay Reloaded. Foreplay was big. It was a huge film for Rosalind Ngisa. Foreplay Reloaded. All of that, you know, I can't even. Frank Raja's Heart of Men that cost the whole BBBB back then. And all of that, Naked Faces, that, you know, one of Matan Kuma's first lead role, and of course my first big film, Shakira, that had Majid Michel and Mercy Johnson, that premiered at the National Theatre in 2009, which, by the way, is what? 16 years ago. Hey, I grew.
You're a legend. You're a legend.
16 years ago.
The other day I was trying to count. I was like 90. Nah.
Films made.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, it should be.
I was trying to count. I was like 90.
Yes,
I was like, hey,
it should be.
Am
close.
I right?
It should be close. I think there are more scripts written than film made. The films I can try and count, but the scripts I can't count because I was one point in my life. Now I was writing. I was a script mad person. I can start a script on Friday morning. But by Monday evening,
it's ready.
I'm done.
Wow.
It was crazy. I was that gifted with writing. I can sit down morning till night and not get up.
Is it because you are so passionate about doing it?
Okay, this is If Tomorrow Never Comes. Oh, I didn't remember Yvonne Nelson. Yvonne Nelson's film. This was If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Okay.
We went to the Volta region, a place called Alpha Kokbe. I hope I get that right. I don't know whether it's, I think it's because I think there are people who are just born with a special gift. You know, some people learn how to sing. People are gifted singers. I think for me, it's just that special gifting. So that the ease of thinking, I don't spend too much time trying to know what once I started, it just comes naturally. This is bringing back memories. This was 2013, I think.
Okay.
2014.
Okay.
Becca was in this one. Becca Yvonne Nelson.
Okay.
Yes. We had to do 9 days. About how many days? Yeah, a couple of days. Bismarck the Joke was in this as well. We went to the Volta region and all of that, and then came down to part of James. This is Becca there. Makeup has changed her a bit. And Jamestown and all that.
Apostle, I want to ask this. Gone were the days where those who started early movies, they always go like, we love acting, but it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
With you, all this plenty script writing, directing, is it actually paying?
No.
It's still not paying.
The industry doesn't pay. That's a fact about it. You need to know you need to now know how to leverage on say in some more platform. Now everybody can see you. Everybody knows you. Say we are actors, say we are baby, whatever you do, so you have a platform. Now you now know how to leverage on that platform. The way the industry is strategized and organized, it doesn't pay. If you say money that you are gonna make my note, it won't pay you. Now, what works for the Nigerians and what they've done is that say they have a bigger population, there's a bigger market, and all of that, and because of their bigger market, and then I don't want to talk about this, but say the Nigerian knows how to support his own. We Ghanaians say We are special.
Do it and let's see.
We are very we are very special. We are so blessed. You know, we are slow to catch up on that kind of thing. So my friends have a saying: if you are selling fine natural water and the Nigerian support you, you are made.
Sure.
Let them just like it. It will be as if this fine water, there's no other water in town. Hey, this one, that's it. They will tweet it. They will post it. They will do songs with it. It's done. In our mindsets, you know, our Ghanaian side of it, we're a bit not too like that. So it helps, it drives their market in terms of that. So, but beyond that, generally, the arts per se will give you a platform, and what you do with that platform is not up to you. What you do with that platform is not up to you. As for it paying, no. There's no.
I'll still come to you on that. Therefore, I feel now do a video now to her. A high Emerepa TV, the Jenny Jumedi, and when you go so I will she na ene menya apostle PASCAL AMANFO, or your movie director, script writer, or your actor, or your apostle, or no, and na enemene etwetwenko. When they won't find chai, and na dey ye kono potoka sem kakra. Me gidi say what you say and so. Instead they won't find chai. What you say. Apostle, you were saying it doesn't pay. You have to leverage on what the platforms you've been given. So where do you get the funds to pay your colleagues and staff?
That's why I say, that's why every time, especially now in this season in Ghana, I've been saluting Kobirana, salute.
Sure.
Shelly Frimpong Mansu, salute. Who else? Everyone who has been constantly making films in this economy. Abu Idi, a few of them, because Jeffrey Naughty making films, because it's very difficult to get investors who want to finance these films. At the end of the day, you must pay the actors. Sure. When I say it doesn't pay, what I mean is it's not as if there is no pay. If you compare the amount of work done to what comes in, it's a huge difference.
Sure.
Or what you ought to be paid if things were done well, and what you actually earn, it's a huge difference. So most people, 90% of people who are in this business do it for the passion.
Okay.
I know my colleagues who are going like, I won't make a film again, I'm tired. And after 6 months, oh Charlie, this story they come my head, oh Charlie, I for sure too, because the passion. So if you're not careful as a filmmaker, the passion overrides your reason. You keep on working for passion. That's why, forgive me, this is a very, very painful subject for me. If you look at the older generation, many died penniless.
Sure.
It's very painful. Many died penniless. What's even helping us in that generation is social media.
Sure.
That, endorsements, BB, now here you have, the older generation who were only just on TV, they died penniless.
Sure.
Some died sick, died in penury. They didn't have anything. It's pain. There's no insurance, there's no royalties, nothing. So our generation is, because of social media, people can share your skills or share your destiny, you get known, and open you to private sector, BB and all that, you can get something small, all of that. But even with that, if you're not careful, you need to be extra wise on how to leverage on whatever it gives you, whether you're going to open other businesses, get multiple streams of income, and what you do with the platform it gives you is where the money comes. If you sit down as an actor and you say I'm a full actor in this economy, in this country, you will shock yourself, because you will be known, you'll be popular, people will celebrate your work, and you have little and nothing to show for it. Very important. I speak to everybody, all the crew, my guys in the crew. I say, listen, very, very important. One of my guys came to me as a crew member. He says he's got an opportunity to travel, but he loves his job. I said, hey, Bema, we are home. Go. I said, go. What are you doing? You are a cameraman. Your skill is your skill. 10 years from now, there might be different cameras. All you need to do is just to get you the menu and go through. It's your skill. But leave the industry before it leaves you, and go work for your family. Go get something together and come back when you're more comfortable. That is the kind of industry that we live in. Because I can't assure him, say, you'll be here and get regular jobs to buy a car or to build a house. Practically, I'm being very practical to you. I said, go and work and come back By that time, you will come back, say you will put it to equipment, and all that. Then you're no longer just a cameraman. You are now having a camera rental company.
Sure.
I said that's wisdom.
Sure.
So those are, I think those are the dynamics for me that the way the industry is from now. Maybe it favors the actors more because they are the ones that get seen. That maybe because they have their face when they go into a place, people can. But the crew members who nobody sees, who knows the sound man, who knows the camera guy, who knows the PA, who knows the costumer, nobody knows them.
Nobody knows them.
So those ones, maybe I speak for them. Those ones, it's a fight.
Sure.
It's a struggle to make ends meet.
Sure. It's a struggle to make ends meet. I therefore, me say more follow conversation no. Emerepa TV. The journey you made no ni guso oh she. Men ko baby I tell a friend to tell a friend say Obaa Rose Majimedwa. Kai nation so say you streaming live Facebook. Oko na obo Emerepa TV na join the conversation no and the Apostle PASCAL AMANFO and amenyano studio ha. Men ko baby I me twa me hosema me ba sisi a.
Chuna me do be me na mi abasa so mi mo honey madam I shall say
When you so be a professional radio and television personality, no, enroll now. Eagles Media College. Just like the eagle, no, you will soar high in the media space as you get trained by seasoned media personalities. Serene environment, state-of-the-art facilities. You run a 6-month certificate, any 1-year diploma course, BTC, journalism and media studies, radio and television broadcasting and journalism, news writing, anchoring, and reporting, sports presenting and commentary, show hosting, TV production, camera operating and video editing, motion and graphic designing, MCR operation, switching, any direction, any courses to PA keka ho. Uhia, ye mo attachment, afe job opportunities so assured. Fees no board the form poko. Afe some of flexible payment terms, hostel facilities ho. File form front desk of Emerepa TV on the 3rd floor of Fisherman Building Hansonic Junction. Fred 0539 942261 and 0242 106131. Eagles Media College.
I reform me sign my money na akwaba. I feel now do a video na to high Emerepa TV. The journey to make the Obaa Rose Majimedwa. Send you make the kind and you stream live. Facebook, TikTok. Join the conversation. No. Apostle PASCAL AMANFO and I'm an church and come Apostle.
Yes.
Before we dive into you becoming an apostle, I just want us to wrap up with the movie industry. What advice would you give to those upcoming ones who want to be like you?
Develop yourself first. Young people sometimes tell me that I want to quit school because I want to act. I said no. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Develop yourself first. The industry is not running away. We have legends like PASCAL and Edwards who were there how many years ago. She's still there now. Sure. The younger ones have also come. When PASCAL was acting, I'm not sure people like Philama Kafi were. I'm sure they were not even born. So what am I saying? That there will always be chances and seasons for you to come up. But don't, I want to quit school. I want to stop anything. I want to act. I said no, don't do that. Develop yourself first. Make sure that you are. You're not sacrificing your self-development for the glitz and glamour you see because you've seen somebody on Instagram. You say, beautiful, I want to be like so and so, and then you feel like, no, that person also has their own story and their journey. So if you are in school, if whatever it is you're doing, make sure you're developing yourself. as you are nursing the dream for being an actor and all, and then don't be desperate. Boko, easy. Don't get into it like say in 6 months I want to be a star. On my DM, people just text me and say I want to be a star. I say no. My brother Majid Michel taught me this many years ago. You don't act to be a star.
You don't act
to be a star. It just so happens that by acting, if fortune smiles on you, you become a star. Acting is first of all a vocation. There are many good actors who they end up becoming stars.
Sure.
In fact, I will shock you, the very best actors don't necessarily become mega stars.
Sure.
So it just so happens that when you act well, people get to see you and watch your film become. So don't come into the industry with the mindset say, I want to be a star. It gets you desperate.
Sure.
Then when somebody says, show me some corner baby, you want to go because anywhere because I want to be a star, and people get taken advantage of. So kill the desperation, patience, and know your own journey to take you. It's taking me this 25 years. It might take you 5 years. It might take another person 5 months. Whatever your journey is, your journey with patience. Run your race at your pace with God's grace, gently, and every time just make sure that you're working with God and you're still pursuing your dreams. So don't go in with the idea of I want to make it, and all. I see many things on social media, from those who are twerking to those who are all kinds of things. Young people, because of the desperation to be seen. So just calm down and just take it slowly. As long as you know in your heart, say you have the talent and the gift in you. It might take a while, but your gift will find a place for you.
Sure. Apostle, now let's dive into your apostolic journey. At what point did you feel that? At what point did you started experiencing that, okay, I'm being arrested by the Holy Ghost? What happened?
Okay, so this one too is some story because actually, people don't know, actually, the first time I got born again at 13. That's the real truth. So, because I was living with my mom. When things got difficult for my mom a bit, she took me to my grand aunt's place to live because he was, finding out accommodation and all, single mother kind of things. So I call her my grandmother. So my grand aunt's house. Say a Roman from the Roman Catholic. They have a group in the Roman Catholic Church. They're called the Charismatics. They are Romans, but they pray like Pentecostals. They do that thing. So my grand aunt and her husband were leaders and elders in the charismatic thing. So in their house, that's where they come and hold meetings. So their house kind of has a Monday evangelical meeting, Tuesday teachers something. When every day there was something church.
Sure. So
that was my first experience. So when I was in the body,
so at that point, did you believe there was something called, Christianity?
Because
you were born again by then.
No, that's how I got born again. On meet and break, I'll be so, but I'm living with this old. My mother will leave me and travel and try and go and put. So I was living with this old couple, nothing to do. So I went to my grandfather's library one afternoon, and I saw like old VHS tapes. So I saw something marked Miracle Crusade. And so I took it, put it in this old recorder. Get then I saw it was Miracle Crusade of Benny Hinn. So I saw this Benny Hinn back then, plenty dark hair, white suit. I didn't know what this guy was doing. Hallelujah. People were it attracted me. I was like, what is this? So I watched part 1, went to the library, watched part 2. That piqued my interest. So it happened that every time my grandfather is taking a nap, I'll be sneaking to watch these tapes. Then I went back to the library. I saw a book called The Anointing and Good Morning Holy Spirit. That was my first interest. So I started to read. Then in the charismatic team, they had a conference after Easter, before Pentecost. They called it the Life in the Spirit Seminar, where they would teach you about Holy Spirit and then pray over you. So some of the things I read in the book, I started to hear. It piqued interest.
Sure.
That was my journey. So that led me. When I say, "Come out, I want to give your life to God," I say, "I don't know what this. I want this. I want this." So but then again, the problem is, and then from then on again, I didn't look back. SU in school. I was SU president in school. But what confused people is that when I got into the movie industry, and I said, "Hey, we were last year." You see, the things I was hiding, you had to hide to do
Sure.
as a teenager. Now I was seeing it live.
Clear.
The things that you have to hide to smoke, you have to
Sure.
hide to say we sure this one. Obaa is coming to you, say Pascal. So I said, hey. So I swayed off.
Sure.
Having become president in SU, having founded a fellowship in university. When I got in the movie industry, when I started getting known, I swayed off. So people who know me from film don't know my background of ministry. They don't know that I tell you that I was SU president by SHS 3. School fellowship of 300 people, I was SU. I mean, so SU. University, I was fellowship president. They don't know all that part. They just know, say, oh, he's a writer. And the way I was living my life also didn't tally. So when people now saw me, when I did the switch, those who don't know, my old schoolmates, they said, you are back to who you were. But those who say, hey, this guy, what's happening to him? But it has always been there. Just I had my years where I was, I came into this crazy world and, call it a bit of fame, call it a bit of whatever it is. I got swayed off in my head. But even at all barrels, in my heart, I knew, say, it will come to a point in my life that my life had to be like this. Because back then, there was such discontent. If I go to a premiere, it's my film. After PASCAL, when I come back, say emptiness. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I want something more. I want. Nothing I did was ever enough for me. I want to do something more. I want to do something great. It was always that drive, and I didn't know that it was that absence of purpose, absence of God in me. So all those years, whatever people think I have achieved, whatever, even in the midst of that, there was an emptiness. That's what drives most actors into drugs. Celebrities into. They are human beings.
Sure.
That's what drives most actors into. They become addicts to drugs because an actor leaves a stage now with 100,000 people screaming his name. He goes back to the hotel room. Trust me, many of them, I counsel them. He can't sleep. They're alone.
Yes.
They're alone.
Who entertain the entertainer.
Yes.
Sure.
They're alone. There's no balance. So if an entertainer doesn't have the right support of family and friends, he's in trouble.
Sure.
That's why comedians will commit suicide. Comedians who make people laugh will go and hang a rope and kill themselves. People have laughed. He's filled a hall of 2,000 people. He goes back to his hotel room and he's empty. He's empty. So that absence of God and purpose is a danger to anyone who is a creative person. So I always knew that I would come back to this. But then again, after I'd gone through that emptiness, I used to live on the Spintex, sometime in, I think it was 2015, I think. One day I just sat down one night. And the Bible says, nothing I've ever achieved just seemed like it was anything to me. I was saying that before I knew I was crying. I was just, life lost the meaning. I don't know what it was. Life just lost me. I was crying. It was close to midnight. Then as I was crying, it felt like a light. Now, my small apartment in Spintex, then there's a security light from outside. But this light, when I was seeing the light, I was like, no, this light from outside can't be so strong to get into the hall. The more I cried, the more the light intensified. The more I was crying like a baby, nose running. The light was getting intense. Before I just found myself saying, God, I'm tired. I can't live like this anymore. I'm tired.
I want to give up.
I can't. Mind you, it wasn't like saying me in hospital now me or so say doctor said me I have cancer. I have 3 months. I was at the peak of career. I was in script writing done.
Guru.
So that's why it shocked people. It wasn't as if say my career now career DP also. No, I was at the peak. I said, God, I'm tired. I can't.
Is it because you gave your life to Christ? Because I think I saw a story. People were saying you gave your life to Christ because you had HIV or something.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, people say, they said you're going through a crisis. I know something has happened to you because they didn't understand. Because usually when it happens to people, at the end of your career, you've done it all, and now I was at the peak. And you know what happened? I woke up the next morning. I started blocking contact. You see, because at the peak, I had people in my life. I had things, access to I just need to say this. And I started blocking people. Because I knew, say, for me to make that commitment and thrive, if I didn't do that, that I did,
Sure.
it's not possible. So the 360-10 was so abrupt. People didn't understand. People said, no, I'm losing. Oh, man, in 6 months. This one, they say, you're bipolar. Man, in 6 months, you will come back. People, because I was up there. Then my fellow guys who are in the industry with now, they are now confused. Say, they're friend PASCAL now. Then people who in the church, sorry for the Christopher, they are also looking at it like, hey, this guy, maybe he's
is it real?
It be settings. So you are caught in between. Your former guys can't accept you back because, and then even the church can't embrace you. So I had a 2 years wilderness.
Wow.
Wilderness account 0.0.
Wow.
Jobs not coming because you can't do. Say you're a software, you're whatever. You can't do the secular films that you are known for. Because my films were hyper. If I do a sex scene, we make so now you can't do what you are known for.
Sure.
Because give PASCAL. PASCAL know the way you go do the story, you go sell. Now that PASCAL has lost the element of what makes the story sell. And then the Christopher they're looking at you like, let's give him time. Maybe he's maybe he'll come back. So now you are cut in between. Whereas it was the most difficult period in my life.
So what brought the turn around?
I think that period is where God breaks you and God prepares you. Also, the world too be watching you, saying, it's a test.
Sure.
If you pass that test, and then God just aligns your calling. Many fail at the way, and they go back because it gets very difficult. I remember 2016, a day after Christmas, I was in dry fasting. We are getting some small rice. I said, I won't eat this. I'm not eating this. I'm not giving myself any. If you say, even when there's food, I will starve myself to make God know I'm serious about this thing I'm doing. So people will watch you to see. Let's give him time. I think when they see your consistency, and they now get to accept you, then doors now begin to open. When people now finally, you see that when I go to invite you to a place, they say, "Well, now I invite AMANFO." And then I went one place, and then 5 minutes, you start saying, you know when you're saying, thank you for this opportunity. And then suddenly, you start speaking, and then one of the first time the power of God broke in my meetings. And then you can actually see shock on the face of it. Because when I go to places, because now the thing said me a motivational speaker, so ushers are not ready. Ushers they're basically on recess. They want to do. Then when the power of God breaks, and the ushers are now trying to go to. So that now means, so this guy actually, God is doing something with him. So all that, it starts opening doors for you. But it's a period where you must prove that God, I am faithful. I am ready to walk this path with you. It is difficult in hunger. I listened to this amazing brother of mine say something like that on somebody's show. I forgot his name now. He was a rapper.
Call me Nazareth.
No, not Call Me Nazareth. He was a rapper. And then Slim used to
that you
such as am I getting the name right? He was a rapper. He used to be a rapper. Young guy. He went on the show. I was saying the same thing. He said, even to pay his rent, I think it's a period where God will read you. That thing that was source of income, that you think you used to get money from, God will shut down those avenues. So you learn to trust him.
Sure.
That he becomes your only source. That you are ready to take up your cross and follow him. So mine was about 2 years, and slowly I started to come out of it. And people now said, okay,
it's real.
It's real, and all of that, and and little by little, now you now have to now build a new network and all of that, and people now accept you for who you are, and all of that. People used to make funny comments under my post. All kinds of comments, insults, all of that. But I think I'm thankful for that process, because without that process, I would have been very, very shaky. This part is hard, the life you have lived, and now I'm somebody who, I always say this. One of the things I want to do in my life, I said to myself, I must enter a strip club in Las Vegas. I must, on my bucket list. About I did it. I went to Las Vegas. I had no other agenda. I was in Houston. I said, I want to see what a strip club looks like real life. What happens there? I saw. Hey! I saw.
You saw.
I saw. That's I said, oh, he said, Ghana there, so our body level, we are still learning. Hey! So that's
this one is proper.
So when you're that kind of person, and God now has to use that kind of man, if there is no breaking and remolding, that man is not ready. God must break you and then remold you.
Sure.
So it was a 2 years where I had to learn the fact that, nothing else matters but you. You are my satisfaction. You are my source. You are my life. And so I'm grateful because that period made me strong for what was ahead of me.
Right. So you own a church now?
Yes. I pastor a church now, a young church for young people. I feel that I'm called to young people because I know the struggles that they go through.
Sure.
It's not easy. Many of them, my story has made me judge people differently. You might see somebody with weed now. All you see is the weed. Me, I see the depression. I see the loneliness.
Sure.
You might see a girl now, you say, I got whatever. This is a drama. You see the girl sleeping around. Sometimes I see a young lady. You don't know that young lady is paying the school fees of 4 people. I'm not justifying the sin, but say my process has made me see people beyond what people see on the outside. So I'm trying to raise young people. I know your story. Most of them, you start talking to them, in 10 minutes, they start crying. But you saw a girl with piercings looking hard. But inside that young girl, it's a young girl who was abandoned at 10, never had a man, never had a father, learned to grow up alone. The streets hardened her on the outside. But in her heart, every time she lies with a man, she says, God, I'm tired of this life. But you never get. So I'm drawn to such people, hoping that by my experience, I can help them see that at the end of the day, you can't be anything that has or has meaning without God. And that God is the real essence of life.
Sure. Apostle, the conversation is getting more interesting, but our time is up. Our time is up, unfortunately.
I don't do interviews. I don't know. You are anointed for interviews. That's why I say you don't hear me speak, because I don't do interviews. Because they will pick one thing, and so I say, Barons, your anointing has got me today.
Amen. Apostle, is there anything new?
Okay, yes. So I just launched my YouTube channel. It's called PASCAL AMANFO TV. If you're on YouTube.
Apostle, this one. You see, you're in the spirit. This one, try. This one, as for this one, try. So dumb, very much.
Oh, but I made so rehearse that.
Lord of mercy.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Hey. Oh, there's a prophet I like so much, Prophet One. I like him so much. I don't know what I like, who I like, is that him or his interpreter, but I like him so much. Okay. Let me try.
Vim, mommy, give Vim.
Okay. Pacho, we make our Jesus here. But I'm call YouTube why. So we share my recent movie, on YouTube. And type on the search, type PASCAL AMANFO TV. PASCAL AMANFO TV now on YouTube. Now it will bring out here my recent cine. God's cine, Recent cine. Let me trust me.
And therefore, me Gidi said no when you are Apostle PASCAL AMANFO and ne twetwe nkomo no. God is Africa. Movie no. Baby I will be akope na hwe. Na movie wo behwe na wo bewie no. Na what's in ye kan nyina ase. He's a great man. Arefo yemre no aye bia ne sa. Aye be na muhu mi say ya fine natural mineral water. The biam betra ha me kan so ehu asem. Or from the western part of Accra no so fine. Ensu enkuto ni nsu a se wo fan share fridge mu na se wo no ma o feel refreshed pepe bi na eto. Or se wo no nsuo na se munye o fine dia na emfi fine for akachi. Nsuo yi oyefi oyibi ene dantuman banana in. Ubetimi afre empanifo e was 0244 688709. Afen nso ope baby e do abofra no akọ school. Omo teacher for no wonim die any abotre what the church or abofrana dear amanina be your pabin so dear Miss for abofrana echo Bembridge International School you will fit crutch ekopim JHS or school bus and so up found baby out to be or the bar before abofrana amount ube hu mo cha kwan e wo mata hiko mass ubetimi afre Bembridge phone so e wo 0271 901 Bembridge say with God all things are possible. Afei KC Logistics so wo Ghana na wo pe dwumakuo ni omo aye dwuma ama omo de onieman efi China e de abrel e wo Ghana ha at your doorsteps Mr. Found edan KC Logistics na send your nneema no ma mom bebro fe ubehu o machira kwan e wo Dansoman Junction Fisherman's Building on the 3rd floor ubetimi afre KC so e wo 0277110113 KC phone so say with honesty and loyalty is their hallmark afei opese okoje encheche e wo central adwuma send your barrels meti he ya ma no wese opese o gentity ye wo mu a school ba akope Eagles Media College omo state of art facilities omo de be che wade no and the serene environment omo fees no eye bibi kuma bia omo be ma flexible payment terms a obetimi so etua omo ye courses bebre ube hu omo so echa kwan e wo Dansoman Junction over the front decks of Emerepa TV ubehu Eagles Media College ubetimi apeke forms na oniomo aye amana ye American Sweet Catering Services omo enene omo de anonom de ene pastries ni ade abreme omo so ubehu omo kira kwan e wo shukuru anene importem eho ena omo di omo dwuma wo ye occasion bia na wo pe o ware eye all kinds of occasions na wo pe obi ama no aye uni anene ade ama wa mesrew American Sweet ubetimi afra omo so e wo 0555 0455 American Sweet enso enono ebusuafo na eha ene edi dwumadie no ebesi Medami Noble Production Team ase eye Richie ene tena mfidi achi e director ma etime di dwumadie ebremo K enso wo MCR Rasta ene Harry ene making sure say sound ne bibia ebeko yie amaye Medami Noble Producers eja inkum ene kwamefo nyina manche bro nyame shao ye frem Obaa Rose nyame pa dasene mo besan atiminka makramo
Chuchu na medu be me amedu. Na mi abasa so mi mo.